How about another round for Brewsday Tuesday? Here is DreZ and Huck.
Gotta love it.
Doesn't that sound good? Brewsday Tuesday continues from Studio B as we have Mike from Parkway Brewing Company in the hizzy. Thanks again for coming, brother.
Anytime.
All right, my man. So
Well,
now,
you know, I wore this shirt because I didn't have a Parkway shirt. So the closest thing I could think of the Red Sox because you got the Salem Red Sox.
all right, that makes sense.
I mean,
What's that?
we sponsor them, so
Oh,
it works
good.
out.
There you go.
Works out good. Nice little tune. So, so this round, like I said, we're beefing it up a little bit. You handed me 4 damn fights to a pint. It is a double Indian Pale Ale, aka IPA, as we all know, and it is coming in at a whopping 9% ABV, which sounds good. But Huck, are you going to outdo me here? What's your barley wine
I'm
at?
afraid that, it's actually a Huck birthday session.
It is. We're over. Was that over 12?
Yeah, it's 12.5.
12.5. Nice.
So, it's like 12-month aged in smooth Ambler whiskey barrels. Hold on. This requires a taste. Oh, yeah, it was. It's not for the faint of heart. Well, fortunately, I'm not faint of heart. It's very nice.
I'm pouring this whole
it's got-
pounder in
I'm,
here.
I'm reading this whole thing. It's like fortification, barrel-aged barley wine, and it's like we got both fighting beers, it looks like.
It sounds like
It's
it.
like this one's like prepare for war.
So, Fortification is Andrew Lewis.
Andrew Lewis.
So Andrew Lewis was imprisoned for a year, so we released it on the day he was released. So it spent the full year in the bourbon barrels. So we released the beer into that.
Nice.
We did that last year. So these bottles are actually a year old. We have a few left. There's not a lot left.
What was he in prison for?
I think he pissed off the British or something.
I
I should probably come up with like what I'm supposed to know about some of the history
It
part
says
of
he
it, but
drove.
I do beer, not
He
history
drove the
necessarily.
British governors from Virginia.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
And I know 81 is like named after him. It's like the Andrew Lewis Memorial.
There's a high
Highway
school
or
there.
something.
That makes sense.
There's in there Andrew Lewis High School.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't go up there.
Well, I know that that's one of the ones that I actually got to taste because the whole reason this got set up was Grant was over at Vintage Cellar doing a little tasting.
Yep.
And he had some of that. So I don't know if Vintage Cellar did they have any of those bottles there, or was it just while he was there?
So I
on
think they've
hand?
kept them in.
They got a couple.
Yeah,
We've
they'd
been
be the one
selling
to
them.
have
We've
them.
made a lot of them. Actually, the bottles for the people that can see us on the video feed, we hand foiled them and everything. Like my hands
yeah.
actually had blisters all over the place putting those things on.
It all came off.
But yeah, luckily they come off nicely. But we're gonna wax them. Waxing that many
Oh, yeah,
bottles is
those
a
are
bad
nice.
bad idea. So we did the foil. So we've been working through. We don't have that much of it left. It's something that was so big and so huge that it's not something we've done on a regular basis. But we have some plans for the future for stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was interesting because we've done some expansion at the brewery, and we built a new cooler. So the fortification actually got stored outside for quite a while, and we've kept it there. So it's stored warm right now. And out of curiosity, about a year, we opened one up, and we're like, oh, my God, it's so much better. I mean, it was fantastic to start out with, but it's just mellowed and smoothed out to where, you kind of almost want to drink the whole bottle, and then you realize you're not going to get back up again when you're done with it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Huck might.
We can
so-
do an we can do an
half
experiment.
that bottle's for me, man.
Yeah, I
you
know.
can't take that all that. That's some good stuff. But so obviously there's a lot of story behind that beer. What about over here for the 4 damn fights to a pint? What's the
So 4 damn fights to a pint is another one of those beers we did as draft only. It's
I had it
wildly
dra- I had it on
popular.
draft.
We've done it in draft before. It sells out really quick. It's kind of like a cult offering. The problem with it is it had a lot of hops that were really hard to get, Galaxy hops specifically. So it's loaded up with Galaxy and Azaka, and we didn't have enough hops to just make it on a regular basis. So every time we could score some of these hops, we'd make this batch, and it would sell out in like 30 minutes out of the distributor.
damn?
So this year we actually got a lot more. We contracted hops for it, so we have a lot of them. But we figured the fact of it is that it is one of those nice cult things. So we wanted to do something a little different, and we had some questions about getting the name approved by the government and stuff because it says 4 damn fights to a pint.
Is it because it's fighting or because it says damn?
No,
or what?
for a pint.
Pint?
So
Really?
What
Just
I
for
was
having
told
pint
when
in
I
there?
took over the brewery was we can't get that approved because it doesn't come in a 12 ounce. It comes in a 12-ounce bottle. One of the
okay.
investors and I are talking. He's like, "Hey," he says, "but they make 16-ounce cans." I'm like,
get
"You're
the pounder
brilliant. You're
cans."
totally brilliant. So we decided to do something different. It's our first canned offering we've ever done.
So so this is the first can.
First cans we've ever done. We had a mobile canning service come in. We did it up really nice. We got really these sleeved cans, and we got the boxes made for them. And we only made about 240 cases of it total.
Nice.
So we've got probably 40 cases left at the brewery now, and that's it. That's the last of it.
There you go.
We released it on December 7th because it's one of the fight days in our world.
There you go.
So
Pearl Harbor Day.
Pearl Harbor
no
Day,
doubt. So the pounders, so you get a 4-pack of pounders, and you can only get that over if you go over to the brewery.
You get them at the brewery. There may be some going out this week, to a very limited amount going out to some of the bottle shops in the world. So it'll only be in Virginia, though.
So speaking of that, we've got like 2 or 3 new breweries now in Roanoke and area, surrounding area. I mean, really recently. What is that doing with you guys? Are you feeling the impact of that, or is it just like the more the merrier?
So the impact is an interesting thing. For me, I welcome new breweries as long as they're making great beer. Bad beer is bad for all of our business. Mm-hmm. We're lucky because we have some highly talented people that are opening breweries up. For Salem specifically, we have 2 breweries opening up. One's open already and one's coming very shortly. And we've always been the only brewery there. So getting people to come from Roanoke over to Salem or come from the New River down to Salem for one brewery is a little harder than
What's the one that's not open?
Ober Brewing.
I don't know.
Little guy. It's gonna be in-house. It's actually right down the road from us, maybe 4 blocks.
Okay.
Wow.
So
I've been to Old
How can you go
Salem.
wrong that way, right?
I've been to Old Salem.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys, and they worked with, I think, the other one down
Their brewer
Big Lick.
came from Big Lick.
Bickley. Yeah,
And he's been real involved in the Star City Brewers Guild, the homebrew club down there. And
I
everything.
judge a lot. I'm a
Kevin's a
celebrity
great
judge.
guy. He's really good people. And the people that own Old Salem, we've done a lot to help them. They came over about 3 days before they opened, and we cleaned all their kegs for them because their keg washer parts weren't here yet. So,
So that's the thing.
that's what we do. We always help.
Yeah, because it is a community sort of a thing. I mean, and it's an interesting question. Is it a good? Do you want the? It is. I mean, let's be honest. It is slight competition. I mean, let's be real. But on the other flip side of things, yeah, it brings more people over. If it's just one brewery in Salem versus 3, then hell, man, people can make a day of hitting all 3 of them.
Right, and that's what people like to do.
Yeah. If you think about it, competition is a very interesting word. Yes, they're all competition, but we do different things and we do them different ways.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, you go, okay, I'm fast food competition. So you've got McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's and Chick-fil-A and all these other things. And you add the numbers of those things up, you're talking hundreds of thousands of stores. We literally have 6,000 breweries in the entire United States. So our competitive group is very small, and we only also take about 12% of the whole beer market in the States. So if you think about that, there's a large amount of that stuff that we can grow into.
Well, people always ask that question, and I've done a little of the math. Pre-Prohibition, we had 4,300, 4,400 breweries.
I don't think, was it that high?
Yeah,
I thought it was more like 2,000.
No, it's around 4,000, 42, 43, somewhere in there. And we had 88 million people. Well, now we have 340 million people. So if you do the math, we're, saturation's at 15 grand.
Yeah.
Say we're only to 6.
Yeah.
So we're not even halfway there, in my opinion. Okay, that's, the math. We talk about this. There's a beer writers conference I go to every year, and this kind of thing we sit around and talk about with a lot of brewers. And they were talking, I was laughing.
Going nowhere but up.
Right. I was laughing about your comment is we help each other out. I won't say where, but I was in a big city where there's a lot of craft beer.
Oh,
and
you're
I
in
was
Asheville.
I was sitting with like 15 people, and they're like, "Yeah, we always help each other out." And one of them goes, "Except Jimmy," and they all go, "Yeah, Jimmy never helps us back." I'm like, "Damn!" And
No, and you do get that reputation. We do our best to foster that reputation. We want to make sure that if somebody has a problem, I tell them all, "Come ask me." Come ask me.
Yeah.
If it's something that I can help you with, I'm going to help you with it. But there are those people out there. They don't know it really. I might have been in one of those big cities with lots of beer over the weekend, and I have this view called the Bushido Code. If when I started doing this, there were 12 breweries in this state. Now we have 216, I think. And it
It was
used to be
143 when we last counted, but that was last summer.
Yeah, there's been
That was
so
last
of
summer.
course there's
we
more.
walk into a brewery, and if you're a brewer, you know each other, and they take care of your beers. And it's not like I'm going to a brewery because I want beer, but at least some acknowledgement is good. But these days, people don't. A lot of them are not getting that anymore. It's like, oh well, you're a brewer, great, okay.
but I don't-
Here's your $14 bill.
Right.
You
Well,
know what I mean?
I don't take free beer if I'm going to write about you.
No, but I get that. And
Yeah,
in your
you
case,
know.
I'm gonna say there's a difference. The difference is you're a beer writer.
Right.
I'm a beer brewer.
Right.
So if somebody comes in from one of the other breweries at Parkway, at least their first round, we're taking care of it. It's just
Right,
the way it
and-
is.
and that
you
means-
should pay for your beer because you're writing
Right.
about
But
that.
a lot of times I get free beer because of who I am, and that's fine too.
Sure.
But I say that. I say, this beer was free. I mean, as a matter of fact, that's one of my 5 favorite beers.
I mean, all these beers are
Of
free.
course, yeah, they're delicious, aren't
these-
they?
Yeah, they're yummy.
One of the 5 favorite with free, yeah.
Yeah, free's definitely up there.
Am I saying your beer is better than it is because it's free? No.
No.
Because your beer is not going to be bad, or we wouldn't have you on the show if your beer was bad.
I don't know. That'd be an interesting question to have somebody that you're pretty sure the beer's not that great on. I don't know. But luckily, around here, we just don't really have that. There's not.
Well, the only interesting, I don't even know if I should go there, but the only interesting thing is sometimes the big boys hire us to drink beer. I mean, they do. I mean, sometimes
Sure.
They distribute a lot of beer. And a lot of it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Not all of it, but a lot of it.
A lot of it.
And so we go and drink beer. They pay us to come and drink their beer, and we say good things about it. But
Sure.
that's everybody knows who the sponsor is. It's not like we were doing something else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's complicated in the beer industry, and I'm frustrated. You were saying your beer is going out to a bunch of bottle shops. I'm frustrated because I used to be able to buy your beer at Kroger's and Walmart. And those
So you
places.
still can.
and I still can.
Yeah,
around here.
Certain things, and it's interesting because even that, we can go down to the Kroger right down the road, and you can find 5 of our beers.
Yeah, but I can't
on the
find
shelves.
this.
No, you can't, and there's a
The
reason
barley
for
one.
it, and it's actually not. It's not our fault or our distributor's fault. It's because Kroger controls what goes on their shelves, so they pick the beers that are, and we spend a lot of time competing to get this shelf space.
So I was in a Kroger, and I'll even tell you where it was. I was in the Clifton Ford Kroger. Clifton Ford, very small Kroger.
Yeah.
I was in there. I have a cabin near there. I went to get some beer, and on the wall of the beer cooler with masking tape was an Anheuser-Busch map of where all the beer went.
Sure.
And there were only 3 spaces on there that weren't them. So you said Kroger
Right.
did it. No, Kroger didn't do that one. And
No,
I have a picture of
So
it.
that picture. So I actually know that picture. That's a local distributor that's here, but they're all up and
Yeah, I
down
know
this
who-
side of
yeah.
the state. And I bet that those ones that were not them were ones that they're not distributing anymore.
No,
Because
they
I
were,
remember
they were actually specialty, the 3 that weren't
really
them.
okay.
So anyway,
Yeah.
this was a couple years ago, and I
Yeah.
don't think they'll do that again.
Are
We
we,
got-
are we,
we went
are we
way
good on that
offshore.
tangent? Are we good on that now, fellas? I'm over here. I wonder if I should say something. I'm just letting them take over the show.
No,
at this
I get
point.
it. I mean-
no, but you're right. This is an interesting topic, but unfortunately, we are running long.
It's the barley one made me say
The
it.
barley wine's got Huck chatting it up over here, getting there and getting that. But
So-
while you're at it, man, go ahead and untap it,
I'll
man.
untap
How
this
great!
one.
I already
It's
know.
a-
I
it's a
think I already know what it
5.
is.
It's a 5. I don't, 12.5%. This thing is smooth. As you like to say, it's jelly.
It's jelly.
It's perfect. It's a perfect beer.
I don't think you're using that quite right. But
Well, I'm old.
well, you might be jelly. What's in my glass, man? Because this is pretty damn good too. The 4 damn fights to a pint. Let the ABC rules be damned. I like the name. I like the beer. It's obviously a nice Huck session at 9%. Double IPA. It's smooth. The lacing is fantastic. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
I can't wait to get my hands on that.
Well, you got your own one right there. I poured the whole damn thing in here. It's delicious.
Damn
It's a
right.
5. Mike, you brought some delicious beers with you, man, and I appreciate it. And like you said, man, anytime you want to pop in and you got some new beers or brewing, the door's open to you, brother.
No problem. I'm happy to come. I enjoy talking to people that like to talk.
I have to say though that you won. So far, I think you've won the prize of bringing us the best most beer. Am I wrong? Can you
The
think
best-
of anybody else?
the best most beer.
This was a great combo of good
We've
stuff.
had some good beer, but we've had a lot of beer, but not always together.
Okay.
True.
So you brought us rare beer.
Yeah.
The 4 damn fights for a pint. You brought us
The
barley
barley.
wine.
The barley, yeah.
Brought us a couple of your general things that kind of special, and that's good too. But
good
we've
variety.
had people bring us a special beer, but then, maybe that's it. That's all they brought.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nah, I
Well, hey,
really
I
do
brought
appreciate
myself
it.
too. So I mean, that's
Well, there's that.
That's
that
the
adds a
number
whole new
one
level
thing.
to
you
it.
have to put up with some
Absolutely.
things,
Well, there
Hey,
you
my
go.
beard's longer, just not as full.
I just trimmed it.
Well, definitely get out there and say what's up to Mike over there at Parkway Brewing Company. It is a great spot. They have live music on the radio. You know who's on the bill this coming weekend or anything? You got any plugs you want to get in there, Mike?
It's somebody. I just saw that. But
So
also
actually,
have food trucks.
we have a event called Parkway After Dark with a band called Grizzle. It's
Oh,
jazz
yeah.
and funk. It is a ticketed event, and you get online and get tickets for it. But it's goes from 9 till 11, so it's something. We're normally open only till 8:30, so we close down at 8 o'clock. Throw everybody out, buy a ticket, come back in, get your tickets earlier on the web, and off you go.
Sweet. Definitely check that out, man.
Here's
Mike,
the
I
5-year
really,
anniversary party.
Yeah, 5-year anniversary party's on the 27th, so don't
Definitely.
miss that one either.
well, might have to make a trip out there for it, Huck.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, as always, Huck, I appreciate you coming in. And Mike, thank you so much for joining us and bringing the beer. That's a wrap on Brewsday Tuesday. We will take a quick break and we'll get back with the tunage right here on 105.3 The Bear. Stick around.